I don't have to do a game. Oh.
You get time.
This game recap. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that out loud?
Missed all of last year due to right shoulder surgery. 0-1 is drilled deep out to left field. Back goes Antunes. He loads up, and that is...
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Tigers Minor League Report podcast, presented by Just Baseball, part of the proud partners of the Just Baseball Network. I'm Rogelio. Alongside me is Chris Brown, who'll be here in a moment. Brandon Day is off tonight. As the Tigers right now, we're watching the Tigers game. We'll put the feed up here in a second. Of course, I can't stream it because I get yelled at or copyrighted that 4-0 in bottom of the second as home runs by Riley Green and Dylan Dinger, who becomes the 9th Tiger to hit 20 home runs this season, first since either Eric Haas or Jake Rogers did. So, but plenty to get to as the Tigers are in the Windy City. There's Tarik Skubal trade rumors to address, but that's not really the most important thing. It was a short week in minors as we're coming back from the All-Star break. And, I got a new cap. Got the new Evansville Triplets cap. So there's a website in Indianapolis that sells the triplets, although it's not fitted. So, I mean, I know I'm kind of a fitted snob. I will take this because, quite frankly, the Evansville Triplets is a team I do not have as part of my collection. So, for those who collect fitted hats and are interested about the Tigers minor league affiliates, this was the Tigers minor league affiliate in 1984. Also, Spain won yesterday, beating Argentina, and so I'm in relatively good mood. That's my mother's home country, and Viva España there. Chris joins me here. If I can get him on stage. Chris. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah. Not too bad. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Yeah. Doing a little bit better. We'll see.
Let's say the stomach funk go away finally, sort of, maybe?
It went away, and then it came back.
It's weird.
Real fun. But yeah, Tigers off to a good start.
Yeah.
So I heard you talking about Spain's victory there. I talked before about how I don't particularly love the way Spain plays, but they're clearly so much better, and Argentina was just garbage in that final game. So
Thuggery from the Argentinians.
It's just not nearly the quality, as it were. But German pitcher.
Yeah. To the research center we go, Chris. I was going to ask you about that. I'm like, did I miss something today?
Let's see. German pitcher and outfield. Is that Evan Dempsey?
Oh, was it Dempsey who fought Joe Louis in 36, right?
Jack Dempsey?
That was Jack Dempsey. I'm sorry, that was Jack Dempsey. That was an American fighter. Max Schmidt, Max something or another fought Joe Louis. Not Jerry Lewis. But yeah, so the Tigers off to a really good start after losing. Their offense kind of went blank again on Sunday against the Angels, but they took the series, so it doesn't really matter. Gleyber Torres is back in the lineup tonight as Eduardo Valencia was Max Melling. Thank you. Eduardo Valencia was optioned down the AAA Toledo. And it makes sense. I mean, we want to have the extra outfielder there.
Yeah.
And also, if you like to, what's up?
Part of that, I think. I mean, I don't think they care that much, but Toledo is really struggling for catching right now. You know, Nito went down, so it's Bennett Lee and Luke Schliger. Luke Schliger are the two catchers in Toledo right now. So
yeah.
Anyway,
no, that makes sense.
You know, that's not the priority, but it probably helps.
Yeah, and Erie right now is also struggling with catching. I mean, we're saying it was back, but they also have Tyron Lorenzo, who has a hand injury. And again, there's this guy. I don't know. Again, there's so weird hatred with Tyron Lorenzo blows my mind. Although Baseball America did rank him 20th today on their top 30 update, which we'll talk about the update from the Baseball America we'll talk about the tracker as well. There's plenty to get to on the minor league side. Even though it was a shortened week, there has been some really big discussions, especially the draft, because our pre-rankings. I have an idea of. So the newsletter is supposed to be out today. Will be delayed till tomorrow, but I'm going to rank my top 20. I'm doing my own top 20. That's going to be part of our collective top 40, what we have right now. Because we want to wait till after trade deadline, but I do want to see how these draft picks pick in there. In particular, LeBlanc, who still has not signed yet.
Yeah. I had my theory on that, and then we heard another theory. He's going to sign. Like, it would be kind of ridiculous for him to go back. You go back to Kansas, you're not going to get $1 million as a senior, right? Like, you could have the best season of all time, and nobody's going to pay you because you have no leverage. So he's going to take what the Tigers are going to give him. It's just a matter of how that works. But I thought, when they drafted him, like, oh, this has got to be an underslot deal because he was, I don't know, like, he's an interesting player, but there's nothing, he doesn't have like a single plus tool. They're all kind of average. He was a college performer, but so it just, felt like somebody you give, I think the slot was like 1.5. Give him like 1.2, 1.25, and get up $250,000 to spend on one of these high school pitchers. But sounds like he was expecting more money than slot, so we'll see.
Yeah, especially I'm almost curious to see what was the other team involved in that equation there that we heard about.
Who knows? But like I don't know. He doesn't strike me as an over slot player in any regard. But who knows? Maybe he's secretly really awesome. Yeah,
I mean, again, the Tigers seem really excited when we're on the call with the brass about him. So about the whole entire draft, and again, they could be just giving us lip service for all we know. I get that, but do you have did you share the tracker with me on the drive?
I thought I did. Let me check. It should be under.
If not, you have the ability to share. You can share stuff. So
it should be 2026 draft is the name of the. Looks like I've shared it with you.
Okay. Shared with me. Okay, that's probably why. Okay. There it is.
The pool map tab.
The pool map. Okay, there it is. Okay. So, you ask and you shall receive. What is the current or graphic that's become popular this over the last couple of years or so?
Yeah, I just focused on the left side. I remember putting the right side in just for all the slot values at various picks, but you see, and they we heard somebody was going to pay him like top 50 money. He went 61st, so I guess that's not too much of a stretch. But yeah, if you go in there, like I played around, and if you drop his bonus to like 100 or 1.25 million, then the Tigers suddenly have 380,000 left over for one of these high school guys. But if he's demanding full slot, then they only have 80,000 left.
So I mean that's why Dunwoody has not signed yet, nor is Byers.
Yeah, I mean I was kind of expecting none of those guys to sign. Maybe the Canadian kid there, Zielinski. But who knows?
Johnson signed pretty much the lion's share, and there's guys already getting ready down in Lakeland. They do like a camp right now, and so that's kind of, I believe it's already underway down there. So, but yeah, the Flunky came in at number 4 on Baseball America's Top 20, which we'll get to in a little bit. So the Tigers are already kind of knowing full well what the impact of Fluky could be, not Flunky. Fluky could be, and the other signing, I know Will Adams, but it was the vibe in some of our chats is this does, and we said this on the draft night, does feel like an Al Avila draft.
Well, it's and part of that is we just got used to the Tigers taking only these up the middle defensive profiles, guys who can with like strong hit tools, and they still went after the strong hit tools. They still like that, and they did take 3 shortstops in the top 6 rounds, right? So it's not that different. The main difference was they took 2 first basemen and a third baseman, and their big splash signing was Will Adams, a first baseman. There's a chance he could be a corner outfielder. I watched his video, some of his games, and you can see those on our YouTube page. I haven't put up the rest. I need to. He's a reasonably athletic guy. Like when he was pitching, I actually kind of liked him as a pitcher. I know he was only like 90, 91, but he had like 3 legitimate pitches and looked like nice athletic delivery. But they really like his hitting ability, and he does have, plus at least above average raw power. What I saw was a kid who wasn't particularly good at hitting anything other than fastballs, but he did have a very selective, patient approach, so might be able to make it work. And that's why I was comparing him. There's a little bit of like a Justin Herman-Malloy or Jace Young type of feel to him, where it's some power, some feel to hit, some patience, but who knows what the defensive value will be. And if he doesn't maximize the hit and power, then I don't know if he's a big leaguer.
Yeah, the thing is about Adams too is that what I particularly like about him is the natural loft and swing already. It's not going to be where we saw this with Ray. Like for example, I bring up Ray Rivera as an example of this, but Ray Rivera, it took him a while before he had that quote unquote loft to his swing. When he was a big guy, he had power, but then when he came in game power, it disappeared quite a bit. Then towards the last part of his year or two, he figured things out, but by then it was too late.
Yeah, he just became an all or nothing slugger toward the end,
Yeah.
and that's like I don't expect that with Adam. Like I say, you can see some clips where he really squares the ball up nicely and hits it very hard, some line drives, and it's just it takes a lot of projection, and there are not as many fallback options for a guy who's already a corner profile. He certainly has the arm strength for right field, so if it works out there, he can play right field, and that's great. And then Dom Pellegrin is an interesting. He finally took a right-handed shortstop, and he seems like a legit defender. Ashley had a very nice write-up based on some of the synergy data she was able to access to. And he's another guy who doesn't who has struggled with breaking balls. And I think part of that is, there may be something innate in the ability to be able to hit breaking balls and changeups and stuff like that. But I think you just have to see more of them, right, before you start to figure it out. I know there's the famous Reggie Jackson thing about you have to be able to see the red dot on the ball, when it's spinning, to know what's going to happen. But I think you can learn to hit breaking balls as long as you see a lot of them. And the problem you see in the minors right now is that you just don't see a lot of good secondary stuff. Generally speaking, the guys who have really good big league quality secondary pitches are moving on up to the big leagues. So, but we'll see. I don't like. I form my opinions about these draft picks, and then who knows? I don't think I said a word about Eddie and Espinal last year when they drafted him. It's like, oh, okay, 9th rounder, drafted as a catcher. And he's come out and been a terrific hitter this year. He's gone through a slump, but he's still hitting over 300, I think.
Yeah.
And so you don't know until you see these guys in pro ball. That's kind of our policy, right? Like
yeah.
We don't leave draft picks off our top lists because it seems kind of silly. But we generally don't put the international guys on until we see them play a fair amount.
Yeah, and we often sometimes will get questions, like, for example, about guys that are in the FCL pitching right now. And to be honest with you, I just don't feel comfortable like looking at a stat line going, well, he's pitching okay, until I actually see the person physically pitch, whether it's in TV or whether it's on the computer, TV, whatever, or in person. I just don't feel comfortable to state my opinion about it. And I know this has been a little bit of a mini rant, like, the Tigers are announcing picks. I mean, anybody can go on anybody's Instagram, grab a picture from there and announce the news and all that stuff. And I get it. But for me, the most important aspect is to get analysis and really just kind of look at, apparently the Tigers, by the way, speaking of grabbing stuff from Instagram, Josh sent us in our Discord, Lance Triple, a unrestricted free agent catcher.
The catcher, yeah, that he signed a while back, didn't he? Like a week ago?
I thought he did, but he just posted it.
Oh, so maybe they announced it and he finally officially signed or whatever.
But no, go ahead.
No, they've for whatever reason in the most recent years they've seemed to get their catchers and outfielders as undrafted free agents rather than in the draft. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how these guys perform. We'll get to see a handful of them, I think, this year. I do think we're going to see Cam Fluke, which is fun and unusual.
Yeah. And like I said, it's a mini rant. It's just, look, the bottom line is I'd rather see these guys play and go out there and before making an assessment or making some sort of report. Like, Ashley done the homework, and I'm doing the homework now looking at these guys. But I see some reports already. I'm like, where did you get that opinion from? Did you just steal it from somewhere else or something? Or I don't know. Like, for example, the reason why I like the simple reason why I like Will Adams, I see natural offensive swing. He was a victim of some bad calls in the game I did watch, but until I see him in game action, I just can't really form a scouting opinion of value to not only listeners but to people who read my stuff. I just, like a lot of stuff I got from Baseball America and cited that the source.
I found a bunch of his high school games, and Georgia high school baseball is pretty good. Like there are a lot of guys who are going to school, but it's not, it's only so much you can see. But I did find one All-Star game that he was in, and you could see his plate appearances in that. I put it on that video. I actually found clips of that behind home plate, and then I found the actual like MLB broadcast of it. And there's one ball that he really squares up well. It just kind of dies in the outfield, probably that marine layer at Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, you're facing. It's really tough in these high school showcases because it's just like an All-Star game. We saw what happened to big league hitters in the All-Star game. You're facing a pitcher for 1 inning top, so the pitcher's going all out, throwing you everything he's got, and it's just really hard to judge hitters in that regard. But things you see, right? Like their takes, the swings, the bat speed, the raw power. You see it there. It's just it's got to develop.
Yeah, and there's no, and again, and I sound like I'm being a gatekeeper. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be. It's just sometimes when we get asked about opinions about guys or players and everything, I just want to make sure I have all my information correct, or not correct for that matter, but I can make my own opinion about something. Because sometimes, especially in this line of work, however we classify ourselves, it's important just to make our own statements. So anyway, enough about that stuff. I did want to talk about the Tigers in the Angel series. The Tigers are conquering Anaheim better. In the last decade or so, the Tigers in previous decades have not won in Anaheim. I'm going to call it Anaheim because I know it's Los Angeles Angels, but don't they play in Anaheim?
Yeah, it's the stadium's in Anaheim.
Yeah, Anaheim. So they've by the way, I did like their uniforms they were using this weekend. The Angels go and kind of throw a throwback classic to that. No, I think that coming out Saturday and Friday like gangbusters was good, but yesterday I was looking at Kerry Carpenter's numbers. He's batting just over 100 in the month of July right now, and he's hitting a kind of a slump. And those when you see everybody else is doing so well, so you can kind of mask it a little bit. And they're going to be patient with Carpenter, obviously. That's why I think that's why they kept Malgeri up here too, because it gives them another option for an outfielder. But Kevin McGonigal making history this weekend with Ty Cobb. I mean, yeah. Chris, it's just like what I was doing. I was looking at his numbers batting leadoff. He's batting .299, and we're looking at one of the best Tiger leadoff hitters we've seen in our lifetime. But the fact that and we're witnessing history again. And when I was doing our top 10 first half series that you go on our YouTube and find it there, it didn't occur to me that like how much history we've seen in the last decade, but now we're seeing it, witnessing it again.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so steady and consistent that I wonder what his longest hitless streak is this year. It can't be more than like 10 plate appearances. And even if it is, he probably had 2 walks in there, so you don't really notice. And yeah, he's just an incredibly gifted hitter. Made an awesome defensive play to start off this game. It looks like Flaherty might not have his A stuff, so I don't know if these 4 runs are going to hold up for the Tigers. But yeah, just an incredible young talent. Only 21 years old, and it's crazy that you're kind of looking at him to lead the offensive charge on most nights. Like obviously Dingler and Green had the big home runs today, but it's McGonigal. You're kind of counting on him to come through every time, which isn't fair. But he did a home run the other day, and yeah, all those hits. It's fun to watch. Really good young player, and I think eventually down the road, if it goes to plan, he may not be the leadoff hitter next year and the year after. He may be batting second or third with Max Clark as your potential leadoff hitter, but I don't know.
So Suzuki hits a home run, 2-run shot as the Cubs are now within 2. It's 4-2 Detroit.
Yeah, as I was saying, Flaherty does not seem like he has it. it looks like it's going to be a short one for him.
Oh, the bullpen was a little does seem a little rested.
It does, although you got Montero's scheduled to pitch on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, going six. It looks like they're going 6 starters, which again fuels the whole entire rumors again about the trade. Oh, Charles, thank you so much for the $10, man. I appreciate that. And his question was, my son and I are going to the Tigers game in Seattle and San Francisco after the trade deadline. Just curious if you could predict what current Tiger won't be on the roster. I guess Flaherty to the Dodgers. Charles, I think as much as the thing is with ultimately with these reporters, you have the John Heymans of the world, what have you, and going back and forth. I think Skubal is going to be traded. I think personally, that Skubal is going to be traded, and I think between him, I think Mize is still going to be here because he's a little banged up right now, a groin soreness. There were some fans that actually saw he's made of he's not a sturdy guy. I mean, he got hit in the hand with a 108-mile-an-hour fastball. That's gonna hurt, you have a glove or not. But my guess is Skubal. I think it's gonna be Skubal. Jake Rogers is not going anywhere because of, as you mentioned, Chris, the catching situation in Toledo and even in Erie right now too. Bennett Lee is defensively is really good, but not to be at Toledo right now. I don't even need to rush him in Toledo, but that's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, I think it really is going to go down to the wire here.
What happened now?
It's 13 games till the trade deadline, and depending on how they do in those 13 games, I could see them trading a whole bunch of people. I could see them buying. I think as of right now, they're not going to trade away anybody. I think they may make some small additions, which I know fans have been so used to or so planning on them, getting to the deadline and selling everything since May. But it just doesn't feel like it's in their DNA. And we've discussed a number of times, like it would be awesome if they could trade one of Mize or Skubal and then bring in guys to help this year and still make a run for it because their pitching has been largely good enough, but I don't see them doing that either. So I think you're probably going to see like one bat and one relief arm.
See, the only reason why and I'm not trying to be negative when I say Skubal might be traded. The reason why I'm convinced of it is just because I'm kind of sick of hearing about. Quite frankly, maybe it's just because I'm sick of hearing about it. But I think it's because there's a package out there that they believe could really help them down the line. I mean, look, if you're Scott Harris and Skubal can net you a couple of guys that can help you long term, mathematically speaking, wouldn't you go ahead and pull the trigger? You do not want to. I mean, obviously, you want to get a compensation pick if they lose Skubal in free agency. But at the same time, look, if Skubal was going to sign already, he would have done sign the damn thing already. Now, is he going to be a rental player? I don't know. That's a question. But I'm just convinced that there's a team out, because again, where in the world is? I mean, you think of where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where the hell in the world is Scott Harris right now? Is he in a bunker somewhere, like just staring at 800 screens, just going like he's? Was he like Hughes? Like
Artie Hughes?
Yeah. Give me the milk on the left hand side. Give him the milk.
Yeah.
Give me the milk. Give me the milk. Give me the milk. Got the blueprints.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, who knows what a president of baseball operations or a GM does on a day-to-day basis? I assume that there's a lot of chat room discussion and a lot of discords and like things like that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, we don't think about the human side of it from the standpoint that what it means to the locker room when you trade somebody like Skubal away. Like, even if you're like, no, we're not folding in, we just decided that this was the best way to get some assets and still compete this year. If they came out and said that, that's fine. But you're still talking about the guy leaving the locker room. And these are professional athletes. They should be able to, deal with that and compartmentalize it. But we saw what happened. As soon as Skubal got hurt, the team basically died in May. I don't, it could be correlation, not causation. But I think, and I've said it a number of times, I don't think there's anything wrong with actually, trying to go win.
Right.
Rather than, and you're always kind of at the mercy of what the market is, right? And it's anybody can buy Skubal. or trade for Skubal, and you probably get a solid package for him, but I don't think it's going to be as good as people think, right? You're getting 10 to 12 regular season starts and then however many in the postseason. And you don't get the team that trades for him. They're not going to get a special, like, oh, I'll sign with you guys, right? That this is Scott Boras. He's getting Skubal to free agency, and then they don't get a compensation pick, so they don't get anything out of it. I do think there's a very real chance that the compensation draft pick will be worth more to the Tigers than any players they get for Skubal.
But also, do you think, though, that might change based off the collective bargaining agreement?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you can do with that. I think you have to kind of operate on the assumption that it's going to be largely similar to what it is now. We've seen all these crazy proposals left and right, but none of that, it all seems just kind of like a distraction. For the most part, I think things are working fairly well. The owners want a salary cap, the players don't. And so, I don't know, they're all throwing out these crazy things. But yeah, I mean, if you think that it's going to get blown up and you're not going to get a compensation pick, then yeah, you probably should be trading Skubal and Mize and Flaherty if you can. But I don't know. It's a part of it is who else is. I was on the Ryan Walsh show earlier tonight, and just there's so many teams that are just mediocre this year that aren't necessarily terrible that are gonna sell for sure. You have the usuals, right? It looks the Angels are probably gonna sell, and the A's have fallen apart, so they probably will sell what they can. And then after that, like I don't know, the Rockies, do they have a bunch of interesting players? And people talked about the Padres and maybe trading Mason Miller. Obviously, that'd be a fun target for the Tigers to have a lights-out closer. The teams I'm looking at that I'm really interested in are Toronto, because they're already like 10.5 games out of the East. They have the same record as the Tigers, but they're kind of going in the opposite direction.
Larger hill to climb out of.
And then the Astros. Astros, again, have like the same record as the Tigers, and they're actually much closer to winning the division than the Tigers are because the West is garbage right now. But just looking in there, it sounds like their president, GM, Dana Brown, is out. He's going to be gone anyway, so who knows what they'll let him do. But it feels like the run is over for the Astros to me, and you just look at what the tradable assets they have right now, they could completely rebuild their system this deadline if they could theoretically trade Yordan Alvarez, Hunter Brown, Josh Hader, Jeremy Pena, like Isaac Reddy's. They've got a lot of guys they can move. So,
yeah. And the thing is about the reason why, and look, Michael says that I'm thinking that they don't trade Skubal, especially if they're not too far off from a playoff. I agree with Chris on this. Compensation pick is valued by heirs. Absolutely. But I'm going to play devil's advocate for the sake of playing devil's advocate here for this, because I just feel like the Tigers have been really just too quiet lately. It's just been, and the Tigers operate under League of Shadows kind of thing. I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Batman, so don't mind me with the League of Shadows reference, but it does feel. The reason why I'm thinking that is just based off the way they drafted a little bit. As far as some of these guys are kind of far off a little bit. Some of them could contribute right away. So I think also a guy like Skubal can get somebody like, say, the Dodgers or the Mariners or whomever who think that he's the next missing piece. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. He is going to be a guy that's he's a Scott Boras client. He's going to go to free agency. That is his thing. Because it's one of the things that cracks me up sometimes is that people are like, well, he likes it being here. I'm like, well, if you like being here, you would have signed already. And it's just a matter of, I know I forgot who fired him as an agent recently. Was it a pitcher?
That was, Montgomery, is that his name? The lefty?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm trying to think, was it Montgomery? That doesn't sound... Jordan Montgomery, yeah.
Okay. But at any rate, I just feel like this. I feel the reason why I feel this way is just because it's just a matter of if there's somebody out there that they've been they do their scout, they trust their scouts, and there's a scout out there to say, look, they're looking at this player, at this system, that they feel that they can get some value out of it and what have you. Because if you really look at the outfield situation right now, outside of you have Max Clark, you have Riley Green as your future outfield. That's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I just feel like if you look at their pitching depth right now, AAA in Erie right now, outside of Sears, again, maybe a long shot of Hayward Mitten, but beyond that, I don't know. It's just, to me, I think there's some variables out there for the Tigers depth wise that they're going, okay, what do we need in our system that we could definitely get? And so I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, so be it, and that's fine. But I don't know. This is a back. I'm just sick of like the back and forth. Like I know why they do it. They have to get stuff in the headline, and I get it. But I can't even, like, I talked about putting trade package together with the Phillies, even though the Phillies system's kind of basura. I don't know. It's just I don't know, Chris. You're right. It can change up. It can change so much. But look at the reason why they also could go for it. Kerry Carpenter strikes out earlier just now. Their offense, if he's not part of the offense, has been overcoming his shortcomings. But I wouldn't mind getting a veteran outfielder either, another outfielder to help out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if George Springer even plays the field anymore, but he's a guy that the Blue Jays could move. I think just trading Skubal at this point, I think is too bold of a move for Scott Harris to make. He just does not like to make big moves, right? Like the biggest move he's made is basically signing Framber Valdez, I think.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's been largely to his benefit. That they've built a solid team. They've got pretty good young hitters. Not everything's gone perfectly right, but like they're just kind of trying to make these small moves and get slightly better every time. And he hasn't. I mean, you saw it last year at the deadline, right? Like that was a classic example of just taking a shotgun approach to the trade deadline and hoping something worked out. And basically one player did, rather than going out and getting somebody or going out and making a big bold trade to try to bolster your immediate future. I keep coming back to the Dodgers. They don't need Tarik Skubal. But they also they have 6 outfielders who are top 100 prospects right now. 6, 4 of them are in AA or higher, and they also have some big league level caliber pitching that is not in not in Los Angeles because there's no room for them. So, like, I could just see the Dodgers being like, yeah, fine, here, have 2 top 100 prospects and an arm, and like. If you're Scott Harris, you kind of have to take that, but I don't know if he would. I think that they came into this year planning to compete. Things went sideways. I think they believe that they're this team that we've seen since June 1st and that they can come back and make it to the playoffs. And so I just don't see them folding unless they go on a wild losing streak right here in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, and that's, yeah, like I said, it could go either way. I'm just glad that we're having kind of a really good debate about this back and forth because there's just this thought that on talk radio that if the Tigers don't do their failures and stuff like that, and I don't want to hear that discourse. I don't mind hearing that. Excuse me, I don't mind hearing that discourse, but have some backup for it. So, how much better Tim Palmer here says, how much better would have signed Chapman a few years ago? A line of woefully short of good hitters. And I know Chapman's been struggling in San Francisco a little bit recently, right?
I think he's been solid. Let me see. Fun fact, he's clearly available. If the Tigers wanted to go get him, they can. Let's see. So 2026, Matt Chapman he's got he's 95 WRC plus, hitting 235 with 7 home runs. Now, his first 2 years in San Francisco were very good. 27 homers, 15 steals, 5.5 WAR, then 21 homers last year, 3.7 WAR. But yeah, like you said, he's 1.3 WAR this year. He's still a plus defender, but I mean, it would help to, you see how much it helps just to get Glaber back. It's just adding one more average to above average bat into the lineup just makes everything easier, at least theoretically. It doesn't help when, like you said, Carpenter and Torkelson are striking out, and I mean, Green struck out too. So they got their 4 runs, and will they get any more? That's the question tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it right now. Charles was asking about Graham getting reps in center field. He was getting fit. When I saw him, his first ever start in center field was in Akron a couple weeks ago when I was out there, because the outfield right now depth has been a little because they've had some injuries. He did start in center field and made It has good athleticism, good speed for it, but it was out of necessity on why he was out there. But yeah, he's been getting some time out there. Answer that question.
Yeah, he played a little outfield in the years past too. He played some center in West Michigan. He played just a handful of games. He played some left field too. I don't think they've ever had him in right field, interesting enough. But yeah, it's an option for him. He's like I think we've seen Workman play some outfield too a little bit, right? Like they don't necessarily want to do that. I don't know if Graham is a legit big league shortstop, maybe a second baseman, but he's certainly having kind of a spectacular year. I still don't know what. I don't know. Like there are certain players who get good enough in the minors that they can put up numbers, but they just they don't necessarily have what it takes to be a big league hitter. And I still wonder with Graham's walking a ton, he's hitting for a little bit of power, obviously stealing a ton of bases, putting up great numbers. I just wonder if he can hit big league breaking ball.
Yeah, and that's the question that also comes with a couple of other guys too, like Graham, Andrew Graham, we mentioned. And also, I think about this too in the sense of like when I look at a guy like, but I think Briseño can be that guy, even Lorenzo a little bit, but beyond that in that lineup, man, like because somebody was mentioning the Seals aspect of it, they have to generate offense somehow, and that's what they have to do. The German pitcher who the Tigers signed, Chris, have you found anything about this?
It's a kid named Emilio Gotts. This is the first I'm hearing about it though.
Okay, so Emilio Gotts.
17-year-old.
Emilio Gotts. Is there any, you know what? Let's
it's probably, Gotz, G-O-T-Z with it's an umlaut, 6 foot 285 pounds.
G-O-T-Z, you said?
Yeah. He's a two-way player. Yeah, I haven't, this is the first I've heard about it, so
Gotts.
It's going to be part of the international signing class.
Oh, okay. Well, we do have some. We do have the highlights here.
Mm-hmm. Top German prospect of the U18 European Championship has announced he has agreed to a deal with the Detroit Tigers.
All right. Oh, it has to be the first Tiger player, or first German-born Tiger player, right? They signed.
I'm sure there's somebody back in the 1900s that came from Germany, but yes, I don't. They've had a couple of Italian kids.
Yeah.
Certainly a number of Australians.
Oh, yeah. All right, there you go. All right. Looks very, very, very young. You said 17? Wow.
I think so, yeah. Let me see.
Is it what like so is it Germany in the sense of like it's not like a army, he's like a true German, like versus okay, because like for example, I saw Spain play Spain had a team play in Taylor at the Junior Little League World Series a couple of years ago. My brother and I went to the game. And a lot of those kids are at naval camps or naval. There were some of the kids were in Navy camps or Navy facilities in Spain, but some of them were actual Spaniards. And I know there's not much, should be much of a difference, but I was just gonna talk about that. No, Brandon, like I said, we're doing a research. We had literally no idea until you said something about that. So, yeah, I didn't hear anything about this at all.
Yeah, I see it. I'm seeing it on. Some stuff on Twitter or some Instagram, but yeah, like I don't know. I missed that. It's always interesting when they sign these guys. Like, Ali Tanner was one of the more interesting young arms in the system as a 19-year-old Australian. We've just seen so many of these young pitchers get hurt, but yeah, looks interesting. And, I welcome any players from sort of out of the way places that might be overlooked.
I do like the fact that I like the fact that you see the meters. How often do you see that? Like
I think you do in
not only in Europe, right?
I think you do in Tokyo, like Japan.
Okay.
All right, so Germany next. All right, let's look at the players born in Germany.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple Tiger players that had German names in the 1930s that signed.
Oh, Jeff Baker.
Jeff Baker, really?
Jeff Baker, probably. He was born in Bad Kissingen.
Yeah. Now, Connor, good way to put it. He looks very, very raw, and even on the hitting side too. Yeah.
Ron Gardenhire, born in.
Oh, that's right. He was born in Germany. I forgot about that.
Edwin Jackson.
Edwin Jackson?
Yeah, I think he was born in.
He was a military. He was a military guy, wasn't he?
And let's not forget Pretzels Getzian.
Who's that?
Pretzels gets you, and he was a pitcher. 18 career WAR for Pretzels. Yeah.
I've never heard of him.
He exceeded rookie limits during the 1884 season.
Oh, okay. All right. That will go. That's way before. That's even before the dead ball era. So there we go.
Charles H. Getzian, nicknamed Pretzel.
Pretzel.
Pretty reference.
So we mentioned earlier, Thomas Nito, IL, Myers to IL. Unfortunately, we're talking about Tanner, full season IL. He's out for the year. Salcedo, good news on him, and Birch Smith back on the rehab trail. Hannafy is staying with the team. Did not go back. Well, Brisky went back to Toledo. Max Kepler. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, as far as let's talk about Tigers, man. Metal Bug. He goes, 1884, Chris, please.
You don't want to, you can't enjoy Pretzels Getzian?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this is certainly the first German signing that I can recall for the Tigers. Like you said, they've had a couple Italians, but
by the way, the interesting signing of the addition to the week was Troy Watson apparently was talking about going to Korea or Japan, and the Tigers had him on the 40-man roster and optioned him back to Toledo.
Yeah, that was odd. You know, we knew that they gave him like $1 million, like a split contract to re-sign last year or after last year, and we knew that he was very close to getting called up last year.
Yeah,
to pitch the start for the Tigers against Cleveland when the Tigers had lost like 9 games in a row, and they ultimately went with Troy Melton.
Wise decision.
So we know that the Tigers like him. We've seen him pitch a handful of times, and there were times in especially in Erie where he looked pretty dominant. But I've always thought it's the fastball's just a little too straight. He's got an interesting sort of cutter slider, I think. But yeah, so
and the velocity is there. I mean, he has some good velocity to him.
Yeah, I haven't checked to see what he's throwing. I remember him getting up to like 97, 98, but I do feel like he's more like 93, 94. But, you know, yeah, they guess they just want to protect themselves to have guys who can go multiple innings. And it's interesting. You see they're using Madden and Sawyer Gibson Long. You can see that mostly in shorter stints, 3-4 innings. Part of that is, not being terribly effective, but they look solid that first time through the order. So
yeah,
maybe they're just getting a collection of guys who can go 1-2 innings.
Yeah, and Clark, by the way, who made the Baseball America top. By the way, we're going to end the podcast talking about the Baseball America update list here. That's why we're going to do the podcast with the shortened minor league schedule. Max Clark didn't make the hot sheet, but everybody didn't. Yeah, I thought he made the hot sheet, didn't he?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I thought he. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw him do that.
Oh,
Does Clark make this year, Charles? If the Tigers go south, possibly. I just right now as it stands, I don't. Tigers with contention. I don't see the need to rush him personally. He's pretty young for that level. But that's just me. Like I said, we're gonna skip through these pretty quickly because Erie. By the way, both. Let's see. Let me see if I got this right. Hold on. I think all 4 teams are over 500, right? The second half.
In the second half.
Oh, except for Lakeland. Sorry, except for Lakeland. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, Erie continues to play well. That was their. The first, I couldn't believe this, but it made sense given how good Richmond was in the first half. This was the first, and it's only 3-game series. It was the first series they've lost at home in their new stadium.
Wow.
Yeah. Carmax Park or whatever. And yeah, Peyton Graham just had another one of those ridiculous weeks. It was like 2 weeks ago he had a crazy week. Last week, not so much. And then this week, he's on 10 times out of 14 plate appearances. Just insane. Scored 7 runs in 3 games. But yeah, like I don't really know what to make of it. Like I think I said maybe he gets a cup of coffee like Trey Cruz at some point. You know, like there's a need and they bring him up. But I don't know. We know that they like him in the organization. They have for years. So I don't know. I think we may see him get bumped up to Toledo, and if he produces there, they may have to add him to the 40-man. That seems like a long shot to me, but we'll see.
Yeah. But other than that, it seemed like a kind of ho-hum week for Erie. In terms of Erie's offense was kind of they, like the Tigers, scored really in spurts.
Yeah. Yeah, they got, Exposito had a couple home runs. Briseño hit the big grand slam yesterday, and Graham was doing a lot. But yeah, not a ton to talk about there. It's tough, it's a 3-game week. It's hard to glean too much about any of it. We did see that the Jackson Jobe rehab start, which is, he looked a lot like he did when he was healthy, right? Like it's still fastball is like not dipping below 96. It's living up at 98, touching 100. He'll show you 4 other pitches. He's got sinker, the cutter, the curveball, the changeup. Still not missing bats with the fastball. I just don't think he ever will. For whatever reason, it still kind of confuses me because he spins it. It's got a good IVB. I don't know if it must be his extension. I don't know. But I think, we've seen what the Tigers have done with Troy Melton, and part of that is having him throw everything, right? He's got like 6 pitches. He throws a ton of them. He throws them all. And I think that's what they're going to have to do with Jackson Jobe. It's just basically 20% everything. 20% four-seamers, 20% sinkers, 20% changeup, 20% cutter, 20% curveball. And just learn to pitch that way. And I don't know if he's amenable to that. I remember, a couple of years ago or was it last year, there was an outing where he and Dingler were not on the same page in terms of what pitches to be calling. I do wonder if he still is kind of Nikola Lucic and wants to announce his presence with authority. And I don't know how long it's going to take him for him to realize that the fastball is just not as good as it should be for whatever reason. So, but it's just nice to see him healthy and throwing. So I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, same. It depends. I read an article on Tigers Roundtable about him possibly coming out of the bullpen if of course the big if the Tigers continue to have the starter depth, if they don't trade Skubal and what have you, and maybe just let him loose in the bullpen, give them another arm that could give them multiple innings and just a velocity arm. The Tigers don't really have that right now, so I think that would be an option to consider. But beyond that, in terms of pitching in Erie, there's not much else to say.
Hayden Minton had a nice start. Not get a ton of strikeouts. Sears came in after Jobe later in that game, but then his outing got cut short because of rain delay.
West Michigan, by the way, I like this stat you put in, Chris. He doesn't like Sundays.
I never would have looked that up myself, but the Great Lakes announcers apparently had all that information, and they were talking about it. Just very strange that he has this, like, he's just not good on Sundays. And I was curious if maybe he's not as good in the day. Some guys just don't see the ball as well in the day, and it's true he's not hitting the ball well in the day this year, but he did last year, so who knows?
Yeah, there's Are you going to bed? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
Good night, love you.
Love you too. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm sorry. Kevin just think Kevin McGonigal is a good baseball player. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he drew a walk. Yes.
Yeah, you might need a curfew on Saturday nights. I like that, Charles. That was good.
It may be. Yeah, it's who knows. And it's also baseball, so it's like 45 plate appearances. Who knows?
Yeah.
Stephen Hrustich had a big game on Sunday. Caleb Spur hit his first 3 times. He's never completed 5 innings.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why. I would like. You see, the 2 home runs he gave up is because he's around the zone all the time, and he has not thrown as hard as he did in his very first start for whatever reason. And it's still good, but I think that's like if he's going to be a legitimate good pitching prospect, starting pitching prospect down the road, he's going to need to throw a little bit harder because I don't think 88 to 91, touching 92 is going to work.
Maybe there's just that's the thing. Like, I'm just wondering then if it's just going to be a relief arm in the sense of because of his pitching style, just the way he approaches. Yeah.
Well, I think that is like you just look at him and he looks like a reliever. So maybe that's just what they feel like his role is. He's been so good as a starter, but again, we've talked about in the low minors, sometimes all it takes to be good is to have a funky look. Although that didn't last for Grayson Grinsell, so I don't know.
Yeah, especially at that level, especially at in the Midwest League too. Midwest League is really easy to put up kind of monster numbers because it's such a pitcher-friendly league. Mm-hmm. The Flying Tigers, Carson Rucker back into the swing of things a little bit. He's been hitting the ball better. Espinal after a kind of a slow start there. But Joe Miller, the most important part of this all, and I'm excited about this personally, is Joe Miller rehabbing back into the swing of things with I thought he was gonna be out longer, but the fact he's rehabbing is a great sign.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked like I said, he came out throwing, I think he touched 95.6 or whatever, and was throwing all his secondaries and looked healthy. So, which was, even when he got hurt, I was like, this is a catastrophic arm injury. He's not coming back. And he's back within like 6 weeks and looks good, which is, it's interesting contrasting him to Caleb Lees, because Lees was throwing 92 to 94 earlier in the year, and now he's topping out at 91. He was injured and came back, and he's working back into it. So I don't know. Who knows what's going on there? It may be something just related to an injury, not necessarily an arm, but something that's keeping him from really letting loose. But who knows?
I do like what 40 Gumbel said, and he says, Joe concerns me a little bit with his rhythm of his delivery. Just seems like a guy can time him up. Hopefully he can work in some more deception as he works his way back. I can see that, like, especially with his breaking ball, it does seem kind of like you can kind of see it coming.
Yeah, it's just odd. But all the ingredients are there that I think they're eventually going to figure it out, right? Like, it would be stunning to me that a guy that he spins the hell out of the ball, he's got a crazy changeup, he's got a triple-digit velocity, he throws strikes for the most part. He was a little scattered when he got up to the big leagues and in AAA, but he's done nothing but throw strikes since he got into this rehab appearance. They're going to figure it out eventually, I think, as long as he can stay healthy. That has been a struggle for him so far in his career. But it's you could some guys have a good enough fastball that you can tell them it's coming and tell them exactly where you're going to throw it, and they still can't hit it. Right? It's like, and Job just doesn't have one of those fastballs, and I don't know if it's. Who knows what it is? Maybe years down the road we'll discover, this is what made it so easy to hit him, and we just didn't know it yet. No, there it was. I didn't hear it.
Oh, you hear that?
Well, it didn't play down the line, but as long as people heard it, that's fine.
Oh yeah. Hold on. I think he's gonna be just fine. No, nothing.
I can hear it in the background, but it's not playing on my.
That's headphones. Weird. Okay, so if everyone else can hear it, then. I was bored. Let's see. Anyway, sorry, my brother. Oh, it didn't play, so nobody can hear it. Oh, bleep. Oh well. Yeah, I gotta get this board. I'm using my road board, and I haven't had a chance to transfer all the other stuff over to the other board. But the other board is a smaller board and it doesn't hold as many drops. Which is why, like, do you hear that?
Nope.
Anyway. All right. Well, no, not your fault, man. Yeah. So anyway, let's just move on, though. Boston, by the way, and that winning streak, Jeff Passan just tweeted this out. It blows my mind. Here's what the tweet says. It's 140 first time since 1940. What was it? Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. First longest winning streak since 1946.
For the Red Sox?
Yeah, for the Red Sox right now.
I mean, anytime you're getting to double digits, it's crazy. That's why we know that Cleveland is, has devil magic, because they've had like 2 18-plus game winning streaks in the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
I had the Red Sox as making it to the World Series this year before the season. I thought they had a good enough team. And then they were kind of a disaster up until 3 weeks ago. So baseball's funny like that.
Yeah, it's insane. Let's see here.
All right, so we got the bases loaded for Riley Green here with 1 out against a lefty, though.
Oh boy. Lee is raking. Yes.
It's like a 135 WRC plus since June 1st.
Yeah. That'll do just fine. The FCL, by the way, season's over. Congratulations to Michael Oliveto with his first professional home run. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, that game was something else. I think we talked about it in Discord a little bit. He got his first home run in that game. He also allowed 12 steals. He did catch 2 people stealing. He did backpick somebody, and he made 2 errors. This is what we talk about when we talk about the quality of play in rookie ball. And like, it's not 100% on him for not catching these runners, but he was like 1 for 25 before that. I don't think the pitchers down there are focusing on holding runners terribly well. But in any event, yes, got that first home run out of the way. He's got more walks than strikeouts. He's still putting the ball on the ground too much. That's going to be the thing to follow for him. That's why his batting average is a little bit low. But I think we'll see him in Lakeland here in a couple of weeks. I think we'll see him. I think we'll see. I don't know if we'll see Chris Rodriguez or not. I think we might, but I think Christian Perez, De Los Santos probably, but he did leave early today, so I don't know what's going on there.
Play at home. Rodriguez forcing a force out, and McGonagall was out at home, so it's still 4-3. Highly came off the bench to hit for Cole Keith, by the way, for those who are they may not be watching. Those listening home. What's up?
Dylan Dingler to save them with the bases loaded here against the lefty.
He became the 9th Tiger to hit 20 home runs in a season. So
catcher?
Yeah, catcher-wise. I'm sorry, 9th catcher. Tigers catcher. Sorry, my bad.
Last one? Jake Rogers.
Yep, Jake Rogers. And then before that was Eric Haas.
2 of them are on this team, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm rooting for Lee. Hard not to. Yeah, OBK, I love watching him. Like he said he blacked out when he got the second the other day in a game against the Angels on Friday. Like he is such a red ass. Like I love his attitude. Like I remember, like I said, just I think we talked about this before. I think it was a 2 to the mouth in Erie. Like it was when he took like 2 to the head in like the span of like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, he got hit in the head twice in less than a month. Remember the second time was they were playing the theme to MASH when he was on the ground, basically.
Oh yeah, this class. Who was it? Was that Pawtucket that did that?
Somerset.
Oh, Somerset.
I think he got hit in the face in Toledo last year.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No, yeah, that's a big missed opportunity for the Tigers right there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, with Lee, what we looked at was that I don't know. It was just, and I think people are seeing this. The more you watched him, the more you liked him, and it goes back to Erie. Just the more you watched him play, he was like, yeah, this is fun. And I need to go back and find it because we looked up. In Double-A, he was at an age and putting up numbers. He was one of like 6 or 7 guys, and the other 6 were all top 100 prospects, and he was the only one who wasn't. And we were like, "What's up with this?" And it was like Marcelo Meyer and guys like that. So
I remember Harris talking to Harris about that after the postseason or the end of the season presser, and he was pissed about it. And look, we've been high on Lee for a while, and then I just remember he first came up like, "What are you guys talking about?" It's like, look, give it time. But he was doing things at an advanced level for his age, and the fact that and his fielding too, he's gotten a lot more comfortable out there. I think putting him at third is a stretch. I think he's better at second base, personally. I think he could play third in a pinch, but just you know what I mean. Like it's just.
Yeah, did they bring him in to play third? Is he playing third for Keith, or are they going to move him to second?
Let's see here. Defensive alignment looks like he is going to play third. It looks like third.
Yeah, I mean, Keith was playing third, so
Torres is still at second as of right now.
So either they'll replace him with Beerling, or they're gonna have him play third. We'll see.
Yeah. Again, he could play third. I trust him more at second. Yeah, no, Torres is second baseman. He's made it clear.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was in DH or not. I didn't check the box score, but yeah.
Congratulations to the All-Stars too. Jose Ramirez, Alex Martinez, and Andres Ortiz in Tucson.
Eduardo Tucson, yeah.
Tucson, that's right, Tucson.
He's been having a good year. I think Andy Rodriguez is having a good year. He's doing the second year for near Bermontillo. I think he's going to come stateside. And Bolivar, he was the big guy they signed, the biggest money, I think.
Yeah.
But even when they signed him, we were more excited about Tucson and Oscar Teneo and Randy Santana. And here it is, and Bolivar is crushing the ball. I think he's got more walks than strikeouts. He's hitting home runs. He's catching. So another interesting looking international kid for sure.
By the way, there's a great article.
Flaherty's out.
Pardon me?
Flaherty is out after 4 innings. They're bringing in Drew Summers.
Drew Summers, okay. They have 10 StatCast standouts with Walter Jenkins and Max Clark being part of it. Maybe that's where I thought when I saw him as part of the hot sheet this week. I got my sheets confused. So that's about it with that. I do want to talk about the Baseball America Top 20 or Top 30 rather, because I felt just overall if there was any injustices you thought or saw or anything like that. But again, if you don't have a Baseball America subscription, please do so. Those guys work their asses off over there, and fans of the work, and they also every once in a while exchange notes here and there about the system. And Salty Pork Chop says, so since Dominic Cannon has bent off his shoulder, can we bring up center field who can get on base? Does anybody know the status of Parker Meadows? Parker Meadows right now is pretty much MIA. He's still doing shoulder recovery but he's still Javi Baez is starting. By the way, I should mention this on the
Lakeland
good
tomorrow,
news side. Pardon me?
Yeah, Lakeland tomorrow.
Yeah, he's giving Lakeland tomorrow. So, but good news, we're going to have a center. The Tigers are going to have a center fielder that can play. So Baez is on his way back up. So it's just a matter of time. So baseball, yeah, and Mitch, yeah, that's my grievance right there. We'll get to that in a second here. But so Baseball America's Top 30. Why is Brett Callahan not on this is a great question because again, no respect for Brett Callahan. So number one, similar to our Max Clark, Bryce Rayner, Briseño, Fluky, and Jordan Yost, and Ben Jacobs at number 6, Anderson at 7, Dempsey comes in at number 8, which I thought was all right. Chris Rodriguez, Michael Oliveto, Will Adams comes in at number 12, which okay. Dyson LeBlanc, who still technically has not signed yet. Framber Montia drops down. Sears not getting love it coming in at number 18. Lorenzo get dropped to 20. Oof.
Yeah, I mean they did that before the year, so based on what happened last year, so they just haven't moved him up.
But Angel De Los Santos, I mean, they're really high on this guy still.
But he's really good.
Yeah, no, he is really good. No, I'm not disputing that whatsoever.
Yeah.
He's had, but go ahead.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, no, I don't have any huge gripes. Yeah, obviously, I think Callahan is arguably a top 10 prospect in the system. Certainly top 15 in my mind. On the Dempsey thing, so I mean, we talked about this I think last year. Is they go through all the trouble to rank 500 plus players for the draft, and they put them in order. So then they just slot them into these top 30s based on that. I will say, and it takes some dreaming, right? But I do think there's a chance that Dempsey could end up the best player they took in the draft, even better than Fluky, because Dempsey, is a two-way player, right? And you can kind of fall in love with guys like this, and it doesn't work out. See Dane Myers, right? Like Dane Myers was a third baseman and a pitcher. We thought, all right, once he stops hitting, he's gonna start throwing harder, and he didn't. He was sitting 88 in the big leagues or in the minors. But with Dempsey, you got a two-way player, two-time John Olerud winner, only the second player ever to do that. Brendan McKay won it 3 times, and John Olerud probably would have won it 3 times, but they hadn't named it yet. But just you look at him and you see a delivery that could be, I think, optimized to have him throwing much harder. And he spins the hell out of the ball, and he's athletic, obviously. He was a great college hitter. So I just think if they maximize him, he could be a very interesting, good prospect. But there is a lot of ifs there, right? I think it's easier to picture with Fluky. You just need him to kind of get back to who he was in 2025 and work on something to attack lefties, a splitter, or a kick change, something like that. But rankings are rankings.
Yeah, and the far as and here's the thing, another one, annual
Boulevard, yeah.
Boulevard,
I was just talking about,
yeah. There's the upside you were talking about him, but the international side, I think, like I said, it's been getting better and better, little by little, it's getting better. And we're starting to hopefully see some of that fruits in the labor next year or two where they're going to see some jumps on the state side. Jake wants to know, what is Burch Smith's role on his team when he gets back from rehab? Honestly, it really depends on the trade deadline, really. I think there's a role for him after, not right now. I think he's DFA, but if they do a trade, I could see him
Yeah, it's I think he's just the last guy in the bullpen. It's Jacob Blacksback right now, right? Like that's these guys come and they go. Who was it earlier this year? I've already blanked on his name. The guy that they then shipped off to Toronto.
Oh, not Chase Lee. Was it pitcher wise? Mean? Oh,
Yeah.
why am I drawing a blank?
Somebody will remind us.
Yeah, somebody will. Yeah, somebody in the chat. We have a very smart audience. So, yeah, it's the thing. It's so forgettable. I mean, but
who did they? What the hell?
Skubal. Thank you, Skubal.
Connor Skubal. Yeah.
Seafood.
There you go.
I do like the. I do like this name better though. Seafood.
That's how memorable these guys are.
Yeah. Connor Skubal. Yeah, totally. Again, just like, and also because I think my brain at this point is just like, okay, draft, re-ranking. All right, I got to pay attention to this. I got to pay attention to that. Just so much capacity. That's it on a given day at this point. But yeah, so that is really about it in terms of just what the Tigers are going right now. The Tigers are still 4-3, bottom of the fifth, as Summers has walked Suzuki. Yeah, which is probably the smart thing to do. It is weird though, by the way. I thought Summers for sure would have gotten DFA'd already by now.
DFA'd?
I didn't think Summers would be through the ball club right now.
I with Herter out,
yeah,
it's they don't have many other lefty options, right? Like Bailey Horn is getting Tommy John, so it's Tyler Holton and maybe Jake Miller. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know that they like Summers, and when Summers is throwing strikes, he's good. It's just those strikes aren't consistent enough. But yeah, I don't know. They're going to need more than 4 runs. I'll say that they're not going to win this game 4-3.
No, against the Cubs. The Cubs are very good. They're playing at home, and
yeah, Charles, good point. Emmanuel De Jesus is another option. I forgot about him.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and Jesus right now, I believe, was starting. I believe in Toledo.
They had him come in for 2+ innings. I think maybe he piggybacked with Ty Madden.
Nice.
I don't remember.
Big strike out there by Summers. I was just talking smack about him. So this is what. Okay, we have a theory about this, by the way. That we talk smack about players, just little smack, nothing like this guy sucks or anything like that. We'll say, oh man, this guy's we'll say, oh, this guy's struggling, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, the reverse strategy works. We call it the Brown Young theory.
Yeah.
The Chase Young, after that, in honor of Chase Young, where we thought struggling on the plate, and then yeah.
I mean, we don't have to relitigate all that, but yeah. No, I think Summers is good when he throws strikes. Bregman might be a bit tough for him, but if he can come inside against him, maybe he can get a ground ball. But yeah, Tigers, big game tonight. Tomorrow, and then they come, let's say 2 against the Cubs, and they come home for 4 against the Royals, 4 hosting the Royals.
Yeah.
That's a big series. The Royals are not playing well, but that doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think anything better than 7-6 over this 13-game stretch, and the Tigers are going to go for it.
Yeah, especially the Royals. Royals lost 18-2 the other day or something.
Yeah, they're getting crushed.
I sent you a funny.
Oh no! Rest in peace.
That's a cool name, by the way.
Yeah.
Richard Porn. Richard Porn.
To follow this account.
Yeah, this is a great account. I knew that would be right up your alley.
August bedwets. All right.
Oh my yeah. Anyway, all right, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. The newsletter will be out tomorrow. As I said, we'll be going on that. As far as what the Tigers are going to do this week, hopefully. Lee. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I just saw that. Lee.
Was there an error?
Or? Just didn't make the play at third.
Oh, so no.
Yeah. It's again, and I've talked about this with Colin. Colin and I were going back and forth about Lee, and I went to go see him a couple times last year in Toledo, and backpicked the second. Ooh.
Dylan Dingler is good.
Dylan
Are they going
Dingler.
to challenge it?
Are they challenging it?
But
Looks like they're okay. So we're gonna go watch the game, And thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for listening at home. Again, if you're part of for those who are just joining us for the first time from Just Baseball, thank you so much for coming aboard and checking us out. And we appreciate it. And we'll talk to you on Thursday for Emergency Metrics. Last week we were going to do a show, and then that was like the first time I had a break with no baseball, no work in almost a decade. And so I just took it off. But Uper, Mike, Ashley, all will be back on Thursday. Stay close, everybody. Have yourself a good evening.